This portion of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited, fueling growth for people.
The Grantstown Wesley Methodist Church first opened its doors 175 years ago. Well, that's more than a century before many of us were born. And today, government officials joined church leaders as they celebrated this major milestone, which Area Member of Parliament Dr. Nottage says commemorates the church's deep history in providing Christian witness in the Bain and Grantstown community.
The church is rooted spiritual mission, originally to free slaves in Bain and Grantstown shortly after the abolition of slavery in the Bahamas. Today, your church enjoys an immense and rich heritage as it stands on the shoulders of many great and faithful prayer warriors to carry on the legacy as the central bedrock to all that is good, lovely, just, pure, and wonderful in this community.
Governor General His Excellency Sir Arthur Foulkes also attended today's service. He says he sees Wesley Methodist as a beacon of light within the community and New Providence at large.
We appreciate the theme of this anniversary, for we walk by faith, not by sight. It was the faith of our forefathers that prevailed in the dark and troubling times of slavery and racial segregation and discrimination of the 1800s and for much of the last century. It is that same kind of faith that will prosper and bring Wesley and indeed our nation through what we consider challenging times.
Well, the month of May is being observed as Nurses Month around the world, and nurses here in the capital gathered for worship this morning at Evangelistic Temple on Collins Avenue to commemorate the occasion. Nurses from the public and private sector, along with nursing students, cadets, and support staff, attended this morning's event. After the service, the groups assembled at the Royal Victoria Gardens before parading through the streets of downtown Nassau. And the news from the Family Islands. South Androsians welcome the reopening of the island's public library. It's a move that the nation's chief is endorsing, as the library would play a key role in the educational development of residents there. Scieska Adderley explains.
The Lyndon Pindling Foundation reopened the South Andros Public Library Friday after being closed more than 10 years. Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie, along with family members of the late Sir Lyndon Pindling, reflected on the legacy of the former Prime Minister.
He made a decision that he may not be alive to see the Andros that he envisioned. And so he wanted to talk it, because he knew when a vision is articulated, he is sowing seeds for someone, some group, some political organization, his own political organization, some leader, to pick up the dream.
It was built with the hope that each child that visits will take something away with them and realize that Lyndon Pindling, Reno Brown, whose children are here today, Alan Jackson, Basil Sands, Nine Rowe, Fairdale Smith, Carolyn Stewart, and countless others worked tirelessly to bring this to fruition.
Pindling served as the Member of Parliament for the area for 8 consecutive terms, where he played a key role in its development until his retirement from frontline politics in 1997. The Prime Minister pointed out how having a library in South Andros will give residents an opportunity to access a different kind of education, recognizing that Andros is an island on the move. Also on hand at Friday's opening was Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald, who applauded the foundation's efforts. Minister Fitzgerald says it's all a part of the government's commitment to providing access to quality education.
As Minister of Education, Science and Technology, I am proud that the students of the South Andros community will have a library to support them in their schoolwork. They are already amongst the best and the brightest in the Bahamas.
The first set of books for the library were donated by the Urban Renewal Program. The library was initially established in 1987 and commissioned in 1991. Scieska Adderley, ZNS Network News.
All right, well, that does it for this portion of the news. Stay tuned, though. Sports is next with Julian Gibson.